Oh, we need to check in on that temperature quilt.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi. Okay. There's still not much variation.
So that is English weather for you. It's looking good though. So how many months have you got here?
6.
6 months.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong there when you've not got much variation.
There's one, I think there's one really bright yellow, if I can find it.
Oh, there you go.
Here. 2.
So how hot was that?
About 27.
Celsius. I might have to just
About
figure out what's
27.
that in
Probably about
centigrade.
78.
78. Okay. We are just about getting that cool here at the moment.
We didn't call it cool. So I've done what I decided to do was do the first 3 months, do the next 3 months, put those 2 3s together.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll do the same for the latter half of the year. And then when I've got the latter 2 3s together, it will then go on to what I've got, because it's just wrestling around with it. It's
yeah, that it gets hard
and it's
when it
quite
gets bigger,
heavy.
doesn't it?
Because I had the batting on the flying geese, but then
Mm-hmm.
I also put another layer of batting and then the batting.
Behind.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is quite heavy.
Yes. So yeah, I like your approach. Quarters and then halves and
Yeah.
then the whole thing
Trying to
together.
keep it a bit more manageable.
So you've got the January, February, March, April, May, January through June.
Yeah, they're
Have
stitched
you got
together. I've
July?
got July is hanging on the wall as a strip.
Did you get any more colors in there for July?
No. Oh, there's a couple of oranges at the end.
Okay. So you're getting more greens there.
Yeah, but what I did say, I said to my husband, because these were 3-degree increments, the colours.
Uh-huh.
If I did another one, I would do 1-degree increments, so that you got. I can't change the weather, but I can change the increments.
Yes,
So
you can.
I
That's
got a
kind of
bit
funny.
more. Yeah.
So this is actually interesting because I contemplated a temperature quilt. I have a design already in my mind for it. So what's your lowest temperature?
I think the lowest one was about 3. It was just above 0.
Okay. And you're up to 27?
Yeah, so I had 12 colours. The lowest one was for anything below 0. And then so that was one colour. Then you had the 10 other colours, which took you up to 30
Right.
degrees.
And then anything
And
above
then
that.
anything above 30. But I haven't been able to use any of them.
Okay.
So I think to give it more variation, I would probably
Do more
have,
smaller increments.
yeah,
So, because our temperature, we actually will get all the way down to freezing, which would be 32 degrees.
yeah,
And we've even gone slightly below that, at least in Phoenix. I don't actually know what the deal is in Tucson, but we've got a much bigger variation in temperatures,
Yeah,
because let's say from 32 degrees all the way up to 110
yeah,
or above. Um,
mm,
so
yeah,
that's going up into the 40s, isn't it?
yeah.
So yeah,
I
we've
mean,
just got a much bigger variation.
see, and then another idea to add a bit more variation would be maybe to have the high and the low of the day.
Right.
So you would sort of end up with this blend of colours. That would be another idea. There's just not the variation in temperatures to give you a real big range of colours unless you change the increments.
What's your typical high and low during a day?
At the moment, um, the other day it was, I think yesterday the high was probably about 23 and the low maybe 18, 17, 18.
So even there, you've not got a huge
No,
variation,
so
have you?
everything is all in this middle range all the time.
Right. Because we have a 30-degree variation in a 24-hour period between our high and low.
No, no.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Mm,
How the weather is certainly for a temperature quilt is going to make a huge difference depending on
yeah,
where you're at.
yeah.
Because I'm
Mm.
imagining most of Europe is probably going to be similar to,
Um, n- Southern Europe, the Southern Med is a
okay.
lot
And
warmer.
I wonder if all across the United States has such significant, or is
Yeah,
it just the desert that has like this wildly different? I can see there's
I
people
don't know.
saying in the
I
chat here.
haven't got a desert in Brighton, so I can't really tell you.
Joe is saying, have you ever considered moving?
Yeah.
So Brigitte also makes a good point here. Think about Celsius and Fahrenheit. I wonder if it would actually make so, but because so our range here would be potentially 0 to 40 degrees Celsius.
Mm,
So we've got a 40-degree wide range versus 32 to, so that the same thing would be 32 to
yeah,
100 and some.
yeah,
So maybe you need to think more, either what you said, do smaller increments if you're working in Celsius,
yeah.
or switch to Fahrenheit, and that would,
I think if you had more or less 0 to 30 and just have the 30 increments and just have a really gentle rainbow range.
yeah. Or maybe um it seems like you need more variation at the lower end of the scale than you do at the top end of the scale.
Mm,
So
yeah,
colder, more colors for cold and less colors
mm,
for the warmer days that you're not
yeah.
getting. It's fascinating, isn't it? Just to think,
It
different,
is.
the way of thinking
Yeah.
differently based on where you live. I never would have figured this out if we hadn't had this conversation over the course of this year about how your temperature quilt is coming together.
But I
So
would probably do another one next year, totally different, different design and everything, because I quite like the fact that it's completely unique.
yes,
Um, to this area and to me as well. It's totally unique. So I quite like that aspect of it as well.
that yes, and I I like that too. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm thinking we should maybe be doing a temperature quilt next year.
I think we should because
Uh,
it would be really, really fascinating to see different people and different areas what people come up with, and I
yeah.
think yeah, I think it would be amazing.
So if you are up for a temperature quilt for next year, shout out in the chat right now. So Joe is potentially still on Venus with her thinking here. She said perhaps make a temperature quilt based on what you want the temperature to be. That's
Yeah,
a nothing to do with reality sort of situation.
yeah,
That's kind of like taking control, where I think what you're finding is that one of the things that is really fascinating about this whole process is that you don't have any control about the colors that are coming along.
yeah,
So
it and ends up this mix, which is totally unique. But it
yeah,
would be amazing for others to do it. And again, theirs would be totally different because they live in different areas.
yeah. Well, Brian is saying they get from -10 to 27, and I'm assuming that's centigrade up in Scotland.
Mm,
Ruth in New England saying -10 Fahrenheit to 110. So, I mean, there's just massively different
yeah.
possibilities coming up.
Mm, mm.
So, are you going to bring your temperature quilt to Devon next week?
I'll bring my machine, I'll bring this, I'll bring that. Yeah, I'll load up the car and off I go. Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Okay,
bring it down.
sounds good. Well,
Can
I
you
will.
oh wait, is it this one we're doing, Sarah?
We're doing the little one.
The little
That's the
one.
big one. That's the
Right,
maxi version. We're doing the mini one.
right, okay.
So the one that Judy showed earlier.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that.
It's the little black and white one.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I will see you very soon.
Can't wait. Can't
Yay.
wait.
Me neither. It's going to be fun. Okay.
It will. All right then. Bye.
Bye.